Hey everyone, this is Patrick from Small Room Productions. I got another tutorial here for you guys today. I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. Along with my series, I have a lot planned out. We're going to be going over a lot of things, having to do with mixing, recording, and just different things about this industry. Tips and tricks, what we should, what we shouldn't do, things to consider, things to talk about. So anyways, along with today's tutorial, sometimes when we're mixing a song, things will be sounding great. It'll sound awesome. We're using our EQs the right way. The compression settings are great. Things are sounding good. But at moments of the song, sometimes it just still feels kind of not interesting. And that's a big problem, especially, all engineers should know that that's a big problem when a song doesn't sound interesting. If you want a song to, keep its success up, to always be popular and sound good, it's always got to be, I know this sounds weird, but it's always got to be tickling the ear, so to say. It's always got to be interesting. So sometimes it's just inevitable. We'll be working on a song, and after we have all of our basic routine things that we do, like I said, our EQ and compression is sounding great. We'll still run into the situation where things aren't sounding interesting. So that, on the other hand, though, can be great for us engineers because that allows us to put our own creative spin on a track to make it interesting. So in this situation, I have a song. It's kind of a hip hop song, I guess you would say, and where the singer's finishing up his last line, and you can see this blue track right here is the beat. And I muted it off in this section, but the reason why is just it keeps going and going and going, and there's no vocals or anything there. So rather than just letting this thing play out, I figured I'd go ahead and cut it just to enough of the point. I listened to it and decided, okay, what point am I going to decide that by this point right here, now I've lost interest? So I listened to this track and I cut it to about here. I'm like, okay, so this is where the song can appropriately end and everyone can feel comfortable that the song has come to a closure. Now, of course, I can't just just end the song like that. I mean, I guess I could, but it just would sound amateur. So the question is, what can I do to make the ending sound interesting, as I said? Now, commonly, some people will go ahead and take their, take their master fader or their sub mix or their sub bus, whatever everything's being dumped and summed into, and do a fade out. And it looks like I have that here, but it's actually not that. Instead, what I did was I used a plugin that comes standard with Pro Tools called Lo-Fi. Now, you guys and other DAWs might have a similar plugin to this, but let me go ahead and continue. What I did instead was took two parameters on the Lo-Fi and enabled them for automation. So if you are a Pro Tools user and you're on a Mac, you would just simply hold Control Option Command and click the parameter that you want to manipulate, and which in this situation is disable because I already have it enabled. Nope, don't want to disable it. So anyways, let me go ahead and bypass this first. That way you can hear what I'm talking about. Just, how the song would end and, how it could, it just seems kind of like, okay, it just ended. 'Cause it's natural. See, already by there, I'm kind of just, all right, what's next? So you may have noticed that these two parameters started moving down. They're sliders or faders, whatever you would like to call them, started to move down. But you didn't hear anything happen because I had the plugin bypass. So let me go ahead, unbypass this, and start from where I left off, and let's hear what happens now. 'Cause it's natural. I think that sounds pretty cool, personally to me. But you see what I mean? It's just, it's different. I mean, it's still similar. It kind of fades out, just like a regular master fade out would be, I guess you would say. But it's different. You know, if we're looking at this a little closer, what I'm doing in more specific detail, the sample rate is kind of responsible um, for the kind of like a low pass effect in the sense where we're kind of losing that top end, and it starts to sound like we're hearing the music from a club, and it slowly gradually does that. At the same time, I'm also have the sample size starting to go down in its bits, and I like the sound of it because it sounds like, now this is just me using my creative imagination when I say this, but it sounds like digital ripping or something. It just sounds different. It just distorts it and just makes it weird. So, and again, that using the sample size, maybe that's subjective whether you would use it or not, but again, it's different, and what we're looking for is something to always, you know, be interesting. Different can be interesting. Now, you don't want to go overboard, but at the same time, just somewhere in between different and still interesting. So now what you could do, let me go ahead and bring this lane down, is that I have this here. So let's say, this is the automation right here in the top row for my sample rate, and then this is my sample size. Let's say I didn't want the sample size. I'll delete it. Let's start from the same spot. Okay, so that's also very acceptable too. I might change maybe how quick the sample rate, goes down. I'd probably move it over to where the song ends, or maybe in conjunction with the sample rate going down, I'll also use the master fader. But you get the point. I think you guys are understanding the message I'm trying to convey here. Is that you always got to find something about the song to always be interesting. I know I've said it again and again and again throughout this video, but it's just the truth. If you want your tracks to really sound, professional, you gotta think, what can I do to make that, and here's the word again, song interesting. So anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I hope that you guys can use this in your own music. Now, let's be honest here very quickly before I end this video. This way of dropping out the track may not be, something that you would use on every track. For an example, if you had a jazz band, probably wouldn't use this unless they were some sort of, I don't know, experimental jazz band. Then yeah, maybe it would be appropriate. But it's not for every situation. But in like this music, hip hop, or in techno or electro or anything like that, it probably will just do just fine because, those kinds of genres of music, have those already, non-realistic sounds that are just non-acoustic instruments like guitars and drums and trumpets and all of that. It's different. So again, this is kind of subjective in the way you do it, but it is a different way. So again, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Stay, subscribed if you like, and stay tuned because there's a lot more coming out. Thanks. Bye.